Hi everyone. I am going to be working in Visual Studio, specifically walking you guys through my homework problems that I have in my programming class. This is going to be in C#, and I'm going to try my best to keep this short and sweet so I don't have to go through and edit it, because this is kind of due tonight and I'm not totally sure how long this is going to take to upload to YouTube. So let's just get started. So right here, I have set up constant variables, and I've also set up non-constant variables. I've set up the prices to hold within these variables, specifically right here, 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 and so on. Here is a console.write line, which means, hey computer, I want you to show the user this line of code, which is this. So if I run it real quick, the first thing you should see is how many cogs. And see, there it is right there. And then once the user says, I want 5 cogs, then I'm going to read the console line, which is the input that the user has given me. I'm going to convert their string input into an integer, and I'm going to call the integer cog sales. Right here I have created another variable called double. I've created a double, and its name is cog cost, and I equaled that to cog sales, which was the amount of cogs that the user wanted to buy, and I multiplied it times the price of the cogs, which I've set up right here as a constant variable. So this is going to be a variable that does not change. Notice that these two don't have constants. I probably should have put constant on sales tax, but I didn't, so there's that. But you definitely wouldn't want a constant right here, because if you go down the code a little bit, we have a if-else statement that uses that variable, and according to which if or else statement applies, that variable is going to hold different values. And once again, this block of code does the exact same thing that I just mentioned with the cogs, and I'll go over it once more because I realize that this is new to a lot of people. The first line right here is outputting to the user how many gears. And if you would like to see that, I will run it real quick. So notice that the first block of code that I run over how many cogs is right here. And the user says 5. And they click enter, and then it stores this information, the 5 that I've given them, into the variable cog sales, and I'm multiplying that value times the cost, which is the constant that I've set up there. And then gear is doing the exact same thing. It's asking me how many. I'm going to put 2. And then I'll click enter, and it'll store the value into the variable, the int variable gear sales, and it's going to convert that string, which is what the user has given, which was this 2, into an integer. You can store them into integer 32 or integer 16. It just depends on how big the number is. And then once I've stored that value, I'm going to use it in the gear cost, which I have declared as double, and I'm going to multiply the value the user has given me by the cost of gears. And I'm doing that because I wanted to get the price of, say I went to Walmart and I bought 5 gears, it would be good to know how many 5 gears cost, and by doing that, I've done that right here. Now, right here, I mentioned earlier with the whole constant and non-constant variables, you're using this if statement to iterate, this one isn't iterating, this one is checking to see if something's true or false. And within the homework problem, it said, hey, we're gonna have a standard markup, and we're also going to have a special markup. And we're using special markup for basically everything, unless the user has chosen to buy more than 10 cogs or more than 10 gears or amount of cogs plus amount of gears, and that total is greater than amount 16, then I'm going to go ahead and say I want to store my non-constant variable up here, the value of whatever this mumbo jumbo equals. And this mumbo jumbo is taking the cost, which I found through cog sales times cog, times the price, and multiply by the special markup because it fit one of these specific booleans, and I'm going to add it to whatever this times this equals. And that's how I'm going to get the total cost of markup. And this is the exact same thing, this else statement. The thing with if else's is if this one applies, then we're not doing else. Ignore else. But if doesn't apply, say the user bought 5 cogs or 5 gears, or the total of cogs and gears bought was less than 16. Then it would go to the else statement, and it would run through this mumbo jumbo to get the value of total cost with markup and store that value up here. That is very important because, as we'll see in this code right here, that whatever value I have taken and stored, I am going to utilize, and print it out to my user. I'm going to go ahead and run through this real quick. It says how many cogs? Let's say 3. How many gears? Let's say 2. And I've set up kind of this cool little thing where it gives you an alarm once it's executed. And that jewel is found, where did I put it? Right here. So once all this code has ran through, it's going to clear the console because I don't want to see how many I've decided to buy. I just want my answer. I just want my total, I just want my total cost, total discount, sales tax, and grand total. But like I said, with this line, the console's going to clear. Then it's going to immediately turn around and change the font to red on the console, just to give us a little bit of color. And then I put /n/n to create spaces between, to create this space right here. And then I've output sales order receipt right here. And here is that little jewel that I get excited about that sets that alarm. It's just another, I like to have fun when I code. I mean, I have fun when I code anyways, but why not be a little different? And then I put a little line just to make it more clean, I guess. And then I set up another double to hold, and I created a double and named it total cost to get the cost of all of these items that I've bought. And if we'll highlight this, we can see everywhere that this specific variable was used, the specific double. And if you'll remember, I think I inputted 5 for cogs and like 2 for gears. So it went to this else statement and, oh wait, I'm sorry. Okay, I was going somewhere else with that and I didn't need to. This is where that value is made for this variable. And if we'll highlight gear cost, we'll see that gear cost got its value from this equation. And then we'll move down to the next line. I'm outputting the words total cost, and then I calculated total cost and made it into a string so I could set it up in currency form. And you'll see later on that I've done some for percentages. But in this case, I wanted currency. So total cost, once again, is the variable value is right here. And then total discount got its value from one of these lines. Depends on how much the user wanted to buy. And then we'll move to this new variable that I've created called total tax that takes the total cost plus total cost of markup, which depended on the if else statement, and I multiplied it by what I could have put as a constant sales tax, which is right here, and add a value of 8.9%. And then I moved down to this line. I outputted the words sales tax, that's right here. And I put it in currency form with this two-string C2. And C2 means I want 2 decimal places. If I wanted 3, I would put C3. And I made another one, again, called grand total, and that was declared as a double. And to get the grand total, it took this variable, total cost, this variable, and this variable, all added together. And that's how I got grand total. And I outputted grand total value to the user right here. And I put it in currency form, and I said 2 decimal places. And I actually don't think that that was needed right there. 1 second. Yeah, I don't know why I had a clear screen there, but... And that's that problem. Oh, we also always don't forget to do this, or I'll show you what happens if you don't put this. So console.key basically means don't do anything until the user presses a key on the keyboard. And if you don't have it there, it just closes out everything. And that's because I said, hey, take in these values, but don't wait for me. But we want it to wait, so we're going to put that in there. If we'll run it again, we'll see if it works great, and it does. We can read all of the output, no problem. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.